You know, I think that what we're seeing with our witnesses like this, is the fact that up until 3 weeks ago, this issue, USAID, used to be the most bipartisan issue. And I've been on this committee now for 14 years plus. We used to agree with these things. We could find things wrong with it that we can correct. And the irony of all this is this. The Republicans are in charge of the White House, the House, and the Senate. They have the power to do this the right way. They have the power of oversight to look at all the things that are being pointed out. That's your responsibility if you don't like it, and you have the power to do it. You don't need this draconian executive directive to do it. It's causing chaos, not just here in this country, but around the world. It's not necessary, and it's a huge departure from everything I've seen occurring in the 14 years before this. Along those lines, I'd like to submit, Mr. Chairman, a letter to the Republican and Democratic leadership in the House and the Senate, and it's from almost 150 former administrative officials, Republicans and Democrats, those who served in the military and the State Department, and urging the rescission of the Trump executive orders aimed at freezing our foreign assistance and dismantling USAID. It deplores the undemocratic and unconstitutional dismantling of these agencies. I'd like to submit this for the record with unanimous consent. And I'd also like to point out some other correspondence that occurred around this issue. The people that praised this action, where did they come from? I'll tell you where they came from. They came from our greatest critics, the greatest critics of democracy right now in the world. They came from the leaders of Russia and Hungary and Venezuela. They're praising this effort. That's who's for this effort. In fact, the Speaker of the Russian State Duma said that anyone who received funding from USAID should be made to publicly confess and repent on Red Square. That's who's praising this. That's who's happy with this. Putin's happy with this. This is so important now in Ukraine. One example, Putin's primary target in Ukraine is to destroy the electrical grid, to use that as an energy weapon of war against the Ukrainians in his illegal aggression. And what does USAID do? They're helping to train and give the resources so that the Ukrainians can repair these damaged electrical grids so they can keep the power on and fight Putin. Putin's happy with this. I mentioned the military leaders. General Mattis, who is also Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump, he used to come to this committee time and time again and say, don't fully fund these programs like USAID, and you know what? If you don't fund it, just buy me some more ammunition. The military in our country understand the importance of this program. I've had discussions for years, and I just recently had discussions with our special operations forces. Those people, I respect them beyond words. They are in the most dangerous parts of the world, in small numbers, a global footprint, working to know where our greatest threats are in the country. They're placed in positions hosting the most dangerous threats to our country, as are so many people working for USAID, risking their lives as well, trying to secure the safety of people, not just in the world, but in our own country, from terrorist threats that are metastasizing and pose increasing threats right here back at home. They told me of the importance of USAID. They told me how they work together on security issues, on intel issues, on understanding how they can use their ability to keep us safe and use it more effectively. And they particularly pointed out what a threat China is, and it'll become a greater threat in the absence of USAID. That's who's asking us not to make these draconian changes. And, you know, do it the right way. All those things you do, all the little small cuts. I won't say anything about circumcisions being a small cut. Listen, all these small cuts, you have the power to do it yourself. do it. Do it the right way. Don't support this.